Hi people, it's me Anja, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. I feel like the title of this video is very self-explanatory, so let's just get started. The first book on this list is called Evergreen, Semi-Magical Witch. This story follows a young witch who has to discover that her pinch of magic may be more than just enough, and the story is also middle grade fantasy. This story is so good. I love the world building, I love the action-packed fast-paced plot. I loved Eva as a main character, and I'm so excited to see what happens to her next in the sequel. I think the sequel comes out in August, if I'm not mistaken, but anyway, I'm so excited to see it because this author is so talented, and I love the way that she crafted this world, and she crafted these well-developed, distinct characters that I'm so emotionally attached to, and I'm so excited to see what will happen next in the sequel because this book is so good. It's so wholesome and wonderful and whimsical and just so lovely and just so good. So with that, I would highly recommend it because this book is so good. The next book on this list is called Star Daughter. This book is YA fantasy and follows a young girl who's half star and half human, and after her human parent is injured, she ascends to the stars for help. This story was so good. The world building was so inventive and so immersive. The action-packed, fast-paced plot was so intriguing and so thrilling. The romance was so cute and it was so fluffy. The characterization was so well done. This author is so talented. This book is a fantasy standalone, so I'm so excited to see what this author will write next in her next works because this book was so well done. The plot, the characterization, the romance, every single element of this book was so well done and it was so distinct. You know what I mean? Like, this book is so good. It's absolutely so good, and it absolutely deserves all of its hype and so much more because it's absolutely so lovely and wonderful and just so good. So with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is a book that I just talked about 3 days ago and my favorite underrated Asian books, and it is Haunted by the Sky. This story is YA fantasy and it follows two characters, a revengeful girl that finds herself beneath the claws of royalty, and a young boy who's struggling to find his own destiny, and he's also struggling to survive. This story is so good. Like I mentioned 3 days ago, this book is absolutely so good because I love the world building, I love the action-packed, fast-paced plot, I love the two well-developed, distinct characters, and I'm so excited for the sequel. I think the sequel comes out in August or July. I'm not completely sure, but I'm so excited to dive back into this world with these well-developed, distinct characters, and I'm so excited to see how this author is going to raise the stakes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so excited for the sequel because I have no idea what's going to happen next, and this book was so good. This book is so underrated, and for what? Because it's absolutely so awesome. I really enjoyed the plot, the characterization, the dynamic between the two of them. This book is so good, and with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Light at the Bottom of the World. This story is YA science fiction fantasy, and it follows a young girl who's participating in an underwater annual prestigious marathon because she's trying to save her father, who's arrested on false charges. However, the race takes an unexpected turn. This story is so good. The world building is so inventive and so immersive and just so innovative. The plot is so intriguing and so thrilling. The characterization is so wonderful and just so lovely. The romance was so well developed. This story is so good and it's so underrated, and for what? It's absolutely so wonderful and so lovely and so thrilling. And I had no idea what would happen next, and I was so invested in every single second of it. This book is so good, and I'm so excited to read the sequel. I think it comes out in November if I'm not mistaken, but at any rate, this book is so good and it's so underrated. So with that, I highly recommend it. The next book on this list is not underrated at all, and it is The Gilded. This story is YA historical fantasy and it follows a diverse cast of characters as they band together to hunt down an ancient artifact. This book is so good. First of all, I love the characters. They're all so well developed and distinct, and they have so much diversity in the cast. There's an autistic main character, there are queer characters, there are queer people of color characters, there are people of color characters. This book is so good. The characters can stand by themselves, and I love them so much. I'm so excited to see what will happen next in the third book in this trilogy. And I think it comes out in September, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, this book is so good. Even aside from the characters, the action-packed, fast-paced plot and the world building are so well done. This author is so talented, and I love her writing so much. Her books definitely deserve all of the hype that they've been given, because these books are so good. Like I said, I am so excited for the third book in this trilogy in September, because I know that it's going to be absolutely so good. So with that, I highly recommend this book, because it's absolutely so tremendous and so terrific and so amazing. So yeah, there's that. The next book on this list is called Where Dreams Descend. This story is YA fantasy, and it follows two magicians who must reckon with their secrets before the darkness comes for them next. And it's set during a magical competition, and it's set in a world where magic is both celebrated and feared. This story is so good. Again, I'm so excited for the sequel, because I have no idea what will happen next. This book is so good. The world building is so inventive and so immersive and just so innovative and so unique and just so lovely and wonderful and just so good. The two main characters are so wonderful because they're so well developed and distinct, and I love their dynamic with each other. They're such well developed, awesome characters. The action-packed, fast-paced plot was so thrilling and just so intriguing every single second of the way. The cliffhanger ending, I mean, come on. This book is so good, and it deserves so much more hype. Like I said, I'm so excited for the sequel, because I have no idea what will happen next, and I'm just so excited to be back in this world again with these characters, because I love them. This book is so good, and it deserves so much more hype. It deserves just as much hype as the Gilded Wolves. So with that, I highly recommend it. Next book on this list is called Shah and the End of Time. Similarly to Evergreen, this book is middle-aged fantasy. So yeah, this book is so good. It follows Shah, who accidentally awakens an ancient demon whose job it is to reawaken the god of destruction. So big oops on her part. This book is so good. It's written by the same author who wrote the Gilded Wolves, and you can truly tell that her writing is so good. I just really enjoyed the world building in this story, the action-packed, fast-paced plot, the well-developed, distinct characters. This book is so good. I just recently read the fourth book in this series, and I am so excited for the fifth book and all the other sequels. I don't know how many books she has planned for this series, but I will gladly read all of them, because this series is so good. I love the world building, I love the action-packed, fast-paced plot, I love the setting, I love the characters. This book is so good, and it definitely deserves all of its hype and so much more, because it's absolutely so wonderful and whimsical and lovely, and it's just so good. So with that, I highly recommend it. So in conclusion, first of all, since this video is a part 2 to my favorite Asian fantasies, I will be leaving part 1 in the description below. Second of all of these books are YA except for Evergreen and Shah, which are both middle grade. Third of all, I highly recommend all the books on this list, because they're all so awesome. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the cupcake emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.